When you see change management, we must be prepared to accept the change. We must be prepared to take the lead in implementing the changes in technology, in society, in community, in similar industry. Lest we will leave behind. Next. Salary, that is payment. Google is the best because they are the best paymasters. And all these things are there. Next. From corporate culture to the good working culture. Earlier in the companies, the top management used to sit in club, let's say Lions Club, Rotary Club, and they enjoy by talking each other in the management. We have to remove that culture and bring the corporate culture. Corporate culture means employee. We have to sit with them. Next. Great approach from daily concept to the selling concept. You might be seeing salespersons always giving that there is a lot of things we are in hand. But instead of selling concept, we must bring it by selling concept. Bring actual cash to the company. Mr. Himanshu might be knowing what is the impact of the cash in the company. Without cash, you are saddened. You are settled. You cannot pay your salary to the staff. Next. Appropriate job descriptions. We have to define the appropriate job to the appropriate persons. If he or she is not understood about her role, what to do or not to do, then it is a different paranoia how she or he can drive the organization in her or his role. Next. Amazing 3R. Amazing 3R will recruit, retain, and release. Next. Recruit the right people, retain the cash cows, and release the unwanted staffs. Next. And the brand. The brand is the Google. And we have to brand our company in the society, in the industry. That brandness comes from your employees. If you are driving your employees and the employees are leaving, you give them their full and correct time with a golden check, handshake, and with the check. Then you will tell 10 people there the company is very good. The company is nothing people, and they'll, even when they are in the difficulty, they'll come back to your company. I need a job. So the top management along with HR must have a think tank on those bases. Next. Then I told my director, CMP, why should not we be there at the top management, top companies? Next. I have to replace this one of Google to bring premiership in the country. Next. Next. And we have to ensure people will do anything for money. I know that. People will do anything for money. Next. But a little more for a good leader. Next. But absolutely anything for a great concept. The great concept, the Harry and Larry Page brought for the Google, I think 2002, having 7 employees, and now it is 1 lakh employee approximately. It is a tremendous, miraculous transformation of employee and the cash in the balance sheet shows the company think tank concept, the great concept must be brought in the mind of the management, in the mind of the people who are driving the company. Next. Does premiership offer a great concept for attracting hires? I had a question to them. Next. And for me, good enough. Because we can achieve better, and I am firm believer that the best is always possible. So when my children come with Papa, I have come with 90% mark. No, it is average for me. You see, when at my childhood days, if we score more than 60, it is good. It is the best. But now you have to cross that level and bring more than 90%. So for 90%, you cannot get a seat in Delhi University. Understand? Next. And amazing leader. Your leader must be always a worthy person to drive the company in a new concept day by day. Not a redundant by the routine workers. Next, the great consent. Next, innovative marketing strategy. You have to pierce into the market by a different culture. You see, I'll give an example. Let's say I came to market number 5 in Faridabad to buy a kilo of fish. I saw 3 to 4 persons are selling the fish. I approached ma'am. Ma'am told me the fish is fresh and delicious. You can buy. Okay. And then another lady says, "Sir, my fish is though fresh, but my fish is cultivated. It is organic fish. You can say we give them the organic foods and we develop them." When I spoke to the second lady, the concept of my mind to the first lady is removed. I forgot totally the first concept. Then I put the second. Yes, how do you take care of the fish? And she elaborated me how they take care of the fish. Then another gentleman sat in the side of the lady. He told me, "Sir, you take my fish. I do the organic food. I do medicated in every quarter, and we pour fresh water in the pool, and we medicate a timely schedule so that the fish do not get contaminated, and the same is a delicious food can be served." So I tried to forget the second lady also. The concept, the idea of the persons that he gave me attracted my mindset to bring 1 kg of fish from him and went from home. So, innovative marketing strategy, when you send your salespersons should give effective presentation of your product, effective presentation of your pricing, effective presentation of your deliverables, effective presentation of your services. Next, and lucrative corporate culture. Company differs by leaders, and leaders differ by the qualities, and the qualities differ by how the culture drives that particular company, and culture is created by the leaders. I have seen very, you can say, the feudal leaders who are working in the top management, telling something backbiting, bringing down the productivity level, then the company suffers so much. I had released in my previous company within 30 minutes of a general manager rank. When I was new, I joined the company only 2 months back from coming from army, and a GM came to me, "Sir, I am not enjoying the company and I want to resign." I just give him a paper, a blank paper, just put up a resignation, and I will give you your check, full and fine check, within the next 30 minutes. I will give a call to my CMD and elaborate the subject usual earlier and culminated and release that. Releasing a GM within 30 minutes to 1 hour is not a satisfaction. I had done that, and management appreciated me a lot. I released that. I saved a lot of money for the company for a particular site by saving a lot of peripherals, a lot of stores and equipment being stolen, which this individual was involved in that. Machinery, tools, everything else. The next, ownership. Everybody should feel they are the owner of the company. This is concept nowadays. We are taking ownership, but I do not have such type of feeling, belief in mind. I got this line. Next, I do not believe in ownership. I believe, next, act as a real owner of the company. When I was in the army, I was the owner of the country. I thought I am the person who is the savior of our motherland. And the education is being taught to all of our army officers. You are the savior you are the guardian of the citizens. So that concept of mind for 20 years driven me to act in a similar mindset in the civil. So when I served in the company, I forgot I am an employee. I always driven the company by acting as the owner of the company, by saving cash, increasing money, and hiring the talent. I have never seen whom I selected, my CMD rejected that candidate. The selection and rejection ends with me only. And my CMD is only, he saw the candidate, he speaks sometimes, and wrote this. That trust level HR person should have in their mindset unless and until he is confident, he is knowledgeous, he is egoless, and he is also selfless person. Next. Okay. When talent acquisition, when you go for talent, set a high bar on recruitment for quality and never ever compromise. Next. Assess candidates objectively, science FTW. What is FTW? For the win. It is a Google term. For the win. Next. Then give candidates reasons to join. Let's say these are my candidates. I should give them ample reasons why they should join my company. There are a lot of companies in the market. Why should they join my company? And companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Unilever, Google, Twitter, they give ample reasons to the candidates to join the companies. Next. 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 Link. 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 Yeah, link. Have you put the link? Yeah. At the culture of the Google, I have brought the idea of the HOD of HR, the Google. I had various connection in terms of Facebook and also Twitter, and shared some ideas, brought some ideas from him, and I put those ideas in this. They say your selection criteria should not be negotiated at any point in time. Next is Mr. Lazenberg, is the HR head. He says, set an incredible high bar for talent and quality and never ever compromise. It's also important to be objective and make an unbiased hiring decision. I urge you, set a high standard and hold your clients to it. It is better to grow slowly and have higher quality people in the state. Next. And assess the candidate minority. Next. And you should give plenty of reasons to this candidate to join the company. Next. Next is a Google Plus. You might have seen the head of Google. Next. Next. You see, I have given some information. I have brought this from the net also. You can find it there. But 2004, 200 manpower, I think that's just more than 1 lakh manpower. And they receive every day they receive 3 million applications online, while they shortlist on 700 applications. And they are very particular about shortlisting, selecting, and HR processes. Next. Okay, next. You see, when you bring candidates to a company, you must analyze KRA, KPI, and OKR. Unless you give these candidates, it's for you particularly, Mr. Himanshu. You see, unless you analyze, give responsibility of an individual by analyzing the KRA, KPI, and OKR, you will be unable to apply them at the end of the financial year. You will be it will be injustice to give appropriate raising in salary and the status. How I define these terms? Just go ahead. Go ahead. KRA are strategic factors, either internal of the or the external of the organization, where strong positive result must be realized for the organization to achieve its strategic goal, and therefore move towards realizing the organization's long-term vision of success. Key result areas are sometimes referred as critical success factors or the key derived drivers of the service. Okay, next. Next, you see KPI, or on the other hand, are high-level measures or metrics for one particular objective. To achieve one of the KRA, you must have that KPI indicators, how it is visible to see your KRA is achieving or not. And next, OKR. And OKR, the objective and key results. It is applicable in top-notch companies like Google and others, Microsoft. They say the OKR is goal setting system. It is a simple approach to create alignments and engagement around the measurable goals. OKR are frequently set, tracked, and evaluated usually quarterly. You see, my company is an IT product based company. We are selling some products. Now the market segment changed. So we have to change our goal, we have to change our KPI, we have to change our KRA and reset the table and this is OKR. Next. Next. And I have organized this table. Next. नहीं आगे You see the processes, HR operations and HR strategy. How it has been defined? Yeah. See this leadership. Go to leadership. Go to this.
Cannot open this specified file.
Okay, I'll show that file next. You see, when you are leading a company, okay, man, so I address that later. It's coming? It's coming? Okay. Well, you see, when you are HR head of the company, yeah, you are business head of the company, you are marketing head of the company, you are sales head of the company. You should always guide and drive your team to perform. When team is in difficulty, you should come forward. You should save your team. And when there is a success factor come to team, you should come back and let the team should drive the show. Leading and give leading your juniors will give you ample trust from the team to support you at the time of the need. If you are selfish in nature and taking the credit of you all the benefits, then your team will disappear from your sides. Next. Okay, how a healthy organization next. Goals here, your goals should be set with the team. Next, teamwork, L&D, high employee morale, leadership, that is reward and recognition, R&R, and also change management. It is needless to say and analyze all these factors. You say your goal of the company should be shared with each individual. If you share a goal, people will work together for achievement of goal. And goal can be linked with your own goal also. Teamwork. There is a teamwork, there is several presentations. I will show you first there how the teamwork can drive the member of this team move ahead. Learning development is the most big concept nowadays. How companies like Tata and Infosys and others give priority to developing L&D as a full-fledged department aside HR. Next, high employees morale. You have to apply them, you have to give them a little bit patch and at right appropriate time so that the morale is boosted. And leadership ethics and rewards and recognitions are fundamentals or indication of a highly productive organizations. Next. Next. Just quick, not work.
Cannot open this specified.
Next. 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 Okay. You see how the cash come to the company. How company become the cashless and how HR helps the company to bring the company cash. Next is the collections. We have a product, we have team to sales, and we have to ensure collection. If your processes are okay, then collection will come. Next, the new business. You have to bring new business every month. That I have achieved something this month, I will not achieve the next. No, you have to put parallel effort to bring new business in the next month also. Next, other aspect the targets. And lateral and vertical sales. Lateral and vertical sales means lateral and verticals. If he is my client and I'm doing some sort of business here, I may approach him to give some more business in his vertical. Let's say he is opening a plant in Haridwar also. He says, you are my vendor, you give me a product on that plant. So we are increasing laterally by help of our existing customers in that particular area, business area. Verticals means he has a plant in Faridabad, he needs my support and he is increasing vertically and he says, Mr. Ranjan, can you help me in my growth partner? Then I supply something to him. My business expands vertically by the existing clients. That is a lateral and vertical sales. Next, and rate revision. When your product rates and the market increases, you have to revise your rates. If you do not revise your rates, then you will be stagnant and the profitability will be affected. Next, your price corrections. Next, a restructure. You have to restructure your price tags to leverage more benefits in the product to bring benefit and cash profit to the company. Next, then our obligation as owner of the company, as HR head of the company, you must understand what is the statutory liabilities. Okay? Interest on the CC balance. Next, penalties on delayed deposit of PF, ESI, and MD. If you deposit delayed, then you have to pay the penalty, and it affects cash. It affects your benefit, your bottom line. The owner of the company doesn't understand that, and then he suffers at the last. So you should not be different from that. Next, interest on factoring. If I am running a company, I am giving something on credit, I don't have money, then I approach Mr. Jain. Jain is a banker. He tells me, yes, Mr. Ranjan, I can give you money, but I will charge some sort of percentage on that. That is factoring. That is factoring. And we have to give factoring interest on that. Next. That is EMIs for the loan against. Let's say I am running the business on this paper premises. I have brought this property through bank loans. We have to pay bank loans. Next. These are back. So, as a HR person, they are the owner of the company, they must understand what are the things that affect my cash. Next. And fixed overheads. What are the fixed overheads? It starts from, next, your rent. Next, your utility bills, electricity, etc., etc. Next, salaries to the team. Next, it's tour expenses. Top management make tours, salesperson makes tours, HR head makes tours. So there is incurred cost. So we have to put on that. Next, payments of statute. Next, and miscellaneous expenses. Next. Next. He is Mr. Elon Musk. He is my charismatic leader for me. I have been driven by this person. He is a South African one. And he says, I will Elon Musk. He says, Elon Musk is a South African born Canadian American business magnate. He is the founder, CEO, and CTO of SpaceX, Tesla Motors, and SolarCity, and co-founder of PayPal. As per April 2016, he has an estimated net worth of US dollar 14.3 billion, making him one of the 60th richest world's richest persons. Next. Musk has stated that the goal of the solar city, Tesla Motors, and SpaceX revolves around his vision to change the world and the human. His goals include reducing global warming through sustainable energy productions and consumption, and also reducing the risk of human extinction by making the life multi-planetary by setting up a human colony on Mars. He says there is a constant threat to the world by extraplanetary attack from the asteroids and others. If such type of attacks come to the globe, our Earth, then human society may extinct. Then you want to pick some such human colonies and to put that in Mars. His aim is that. Next. And he has also envisaged a high-speed transmission system at Hyperloop, which is being conducted higher from Delhi to Ahmedabad, and the factory is being established in Ahmedabad also. Next. The videos, but it's not, I think it is not. Next. Just click on that vehicle. Car. Vehicle. Car. Okay, next. At the last, I would like to show you how, as an individual, you should reinvent yourself. By reinventing yourself, you will say changes of your career profile in your life. Next. You see, who are these two persons? Amitabh Bachchan and Jessica. इसका कौन? शशि कपूर. ये कौन सा फिल्म का सीन है? Which film? दीवार. एक बोलता मेरे पास बंगला है, कार है, आपके पास क्या है? सब बोलता मेरे पास है. आगे next. You see the same as they look like same, and how the time changes them, and how they reinvent himself. Next. He faded out. Next. Then he's a laughing person. Next. The two pictures you see the same are the same as how one person reinvented himself as per the society norms and conditions, and how other did not adapt to the changing atmosphere. Next. Reinvent yourself. Unless and until you reinvent yourself, you will be headed into oblivion. And even the technologies are destined for the oblivion change. Try things that you have not taken into try before. Move out of the comfort zone, and also should be 60 to your comfort zone of courage. Next. 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 It is your efforts and it is your next. 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 Here there. You have to reduce. Next. You have to, if the value is low and the effort is low, you have to reduce and eliminate and create all those others. And you have to give priority on this, where your value and efforts are more. Next. There are some very interesting videos over there. That's why VLC I had downloaded. It could not come. If you permit, I can show that videos also.
This is there.
This is there. Okay. Go to the file.
You have to drag and drop it.
Yeah, go to the file. This way. Yes. Isn't just the You see, how's the okay. So until we resume the video, I can say something on that. You see, as HR persons, for me, you are a gift to the world. You are a gift to the society. You are a gift to the company. You are a gift to the management. You should be biasless. You should be focused because all the deliverables starts and begins from you. You should work hard. You should take parallel knowledge to develop yourself as a career planning. You should know fundamental principles for accounting. You should know the basic culture of sales and marketing, and you should know the leading qualities of HR, how you can lead in the greater marks. You have to lead the company in the market, you have to lead your team in the company, and you have to lead your company in global also. So all these things, if you are qualified enough, if you are sharpening your tools, regularly, then you will produce result. It's coming soon. Just a second. You see, this is the change management.
Change is about survival. Change management is about modifying, transforming organizations change is especially necessary for organizations to prosper in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment. Change is a key source of competitive advantage. Let's take an example. In 1968, described the way change forces disruptions into routine work lives. Then, in 1970, Alfred Hoffer described his new future shock that ran towards accelerating speeds of change and showed how social and technological norms have shortened lifespans with each generation. In 1978, Derek Nabel described strategic windows and stressed the importance of the entry and exit timing of any new strategy. Forward to 1983, to see because we are all beings of habit, we tend to repeat what we are comfortable with. In 1990, Richard Pascal called the relentless change requires that businesses continuously reinvent themselves and pen his famous maxim, nothing feels like success. Peter Spars. The likeliness of occurrence evaluation. 1996 is when Adrian Slowotsky claimed that recognizing the patterns behind value migrations is necessary if we wish to understand the world of chaotic change and develop a sense of strategic anticipation. In 1997, Clayton Christensen took the position that outstanding companies lose their market leadership when confronted with disruptive technology. And more recently, in 2000, Gary Hamel discussed strategic decay, the notion that the value of all strategies, no matter how brilliant, will decay over time. Back to the present, and now some business planners are starting to use a complexity theory approach to strategy. This can be thought of as chaos with a dash of order, not quite so unpredictable. It involves multiple agents interacting in such a way that a glimpse of structure may appear. But you don't have to be Einstein to realize that all these theories are relative. One must apply these theories as once is fit. Considering that, perhaps the next ideas will be something like business relativism management or pragmatism, but that's for another day. Still, some might ask why change. Let's consider an adaptive quote from Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. That said, we could safely say that change is all about survival. Generally, change arises from the development of new products, the entry of new competition, changes in consumer tastes and preferences, shifting social, political, economic, and cultural frameworks, advancement in technology, and new emerging markets. Also, accessible technologies, access to new suppliers and markets, fast access to information, and quality improvement have led to exponentially increased competition, so that earlier the need for change is recognized, greater the number of options for successful implementation. Put simply, change is a key source of competitive advantage in survival, which brings us to how, philosophically speaking, for change to work, the discontent with the reality must be far greater than one's tolerance of it. In other words, you won't change unless you're really unhappy with the present situation. But hold on, some smart guys have come up with a formula for change. Promoted by Descartes and Harris way back in 1987, the formula was designed to assess the relative success of a change program. It's a simple yet powerful tool that offers a fast first impression of the possibilities and conditions to change an organization. The formula goes like this. D means dissatisfaction with the current situation. V stands for vision of what's possible, very important, and we'll build on this in a moment. F is for first actions that can be taken towards the vision. The result must be bigger than R, the resistance. Then, if so, change is possible. It's quite important to remember that the first three elements in this formula must not be 0 or near 0. Otherwise, the resistance will be far too too dominant for any potential change implementation. Perhaps we could illustrate this a bit. To begin with, we have the first three elements, and here comes resistance. Let's throw in some changes needed. Now, if resistance is bigger, then change will not happen, and it can create some business disruption. You must work on the first three elements so they will be dominant enough to move all along. We can't forget to talk about vision. Very important for all kinds of management and business matters. Vision is the guiding philosophy of the company or brand plus a tangible image. The vision must be a realistic, credible, and attractive future for the organization. Vision must also empower and encourage leaders and followers to implement change. Successful change is hinged on a picture of a desirable future. It is important that the vision be easy to communicate, which brings us to Cotter's change phases. In 1996, Professor John Cotter stated that for a successful change implementation, it's crucial to follow the 8 phases of change. You have to establish a sense of urgency. If people think that the organization is doing fine, there will be little motivation for change. Create a coalition of change champions. Develop a clear vision to empower and encourage. Share the vision as clear communication is essential to planning the troops. Empower people to clear obstacles and foster a can-do culture. Secure short-term wins, as this will build confidence in the strategy. Consolidate and keep moving to utilize the power of momentum. And finally, anchor the change to prevent old habits creeping in. But that's not all. Real change requires a subtle, relationship-driven approach and is broad-based rather than narrow and builds on inclusion instead of exclusion. Therefore, collaboration is the base for growth. And to achieve that, here's the code for collaboration and change. There must be a widespread perceived need for change. Successful change starts only when the people in the organization take a hard look at their own competitive situation. Effective communication is key to getting the word out and achieving employee participation. Employee engagement brings participation in decision-making and gives a sense of involvement, increasing the probability of commitment to change. Change is only possible if all stakeholders are willing to participate. It is this human element which helps or hinders successful implementation of change. Change is pervasive in our society and a part of life in organizations. How well you manage change in the coming years will be a key source of competitive advantage and will differentiate you from others in the future. We are living in exponential times. The longer it takes to initiate a change program, the greater that will grow to be the reality and the vision, which will lead to exponentially greater risks as the competition schemes ahead. There's no other option but change.
Okay, it was a nice thing for change management. Time is short. We'll come with other topics in the other session. Basically, my aim was to highlight how the leadership and the teamwork persists in the company to drive the company. That we'll discuss in the next course of actions. I'd like to request Mr. Nick to just advocate Jane to start the next session.